Night Furies, once more abundant, have become a rare and elusive species. Due to near extinction, they remain largely undocumented. Until we encountered our first and last Night Fury in the world, Toothless, but even with the franchise ending unfairly 3 years ago, there is still much left unknown. That's why My 4 Phases is here to tackle the issue, as I delve into the world of Night Furies with my Night Fury based content. Inspired by captivating videos by Beast Primal, link in description and iCards, I couldn't resist delving deeper into the world of Night Furies. Today we explore Night Fury life cycles. Do they undergo extraordinary changes past what we've seen in the films and TV shows? Well, let's answer the question of: when exploring Night Fury life cycles and the stages they go through, since it's never been seen on screen, it's important to discuss the fascinating process of their incubation, to help fill in the gaps from eggling to what we see of Toothless and How to Train Your Dragon 1. Incubation, a phenomenon shrouded in mystery for all dragons, including the legendary Night Fury. Night Fury eggs, as hinted by an old DreamWorks advertisement, are said to be laid on top of mountain summits to help blend in with the night sky. Though it's important to know that other advertisements made by DreamWorks for the Gronkles list the eggs as small as marbles, but when watching Gift of the Night Fury, you realise this is incorrect, as the eggs are much larger than marbles. Unless in the How to Train Your Dragon universe, marbles are massive. But in any case, due to the only one known Night Fury through the entire franchise, it provides the most accurate data to estimate the incubation times of Fury eggs. Unless we look at Rise of Berk, which is not entirely canon when it comes to provided information. For example, the Night Fury egg's design from Rise of Berk differs from the advertisement for How to Train Your Dragon 1, and then of course the How to Train Your Dragon 1 advertisements differs in design to the game. Because their eggs are described to be laid on top of mountains, we can use the real world data that reptiles and birds, the closest animal comparatives to dragons, often have longer incubation times and colder temperatures, such as the freezing cold altitudes of the mountain peaks. Reptile eggs can incubate for 120 days in colder temperatures, due to the direct relationship of bigger eggs needing more total incubation time. Like dragon eggs, I'm going to theorise an estimate of 4 to 5 months for a Night Fury egg to hatch. It's fascinating to note that Beast Primal also arrived at a similar conclusion, although importantly the artist's art he used is also responsible. Check out his video for incredible artwork, link in the description. And yes, some of you may be thinking about Rookery Island, and that most dragon eggs there took a lot less time to incubate, but the island was significantly hotter, with it being predominantly hot springs. Also, every dragon is different, so there's an argument against that. As we venture into the realm of hatchlings and fletchlings, Rise of Berk provides valuable insights. There we encounter a baby Toothless who resembles more of a nestling than a hatchling due to being less stumpy, a trait of hatchling animals, and we can witness striking similarities to the Nightlights. Nightlights derived from the Night Fury serve as a crucial reference point for understanding the early stages of our beloved Night Fury species. They must start learning to fly like the Nightlights, and aren't really too powerful and the best flyers yet, but that soon changes. This assumption is based on the knowledge that both Toothless and Night Fury and Hiccup share the same age as preached by Valkyr in How to Train Your Dragon 2.
And look! He's your age! Wow.
If Hiccup is a teen, it's pretty safe to classify Toothless by How to Train Your Dragon 1 as a teen too. And we talk about why soon. Meaning I'm going to theorise that a Night Fury stays a baby for about a year to a year and a half from hatchling before slowly transitioning into a juvenile. Now, talking about Night Furies, we cannot forget to fill in the gaps between nestling to an adolescent. And we do have the answers to that in the form of the teenage Nightlights, who seem more appropriate to list as juveniles or early adolescents, because they in game and in general observation are not the size as Toothless by How to Train Your Dragon 1, and certainly not in the later movies. And using Photoshop, I changed the colour palette to resemble Toothless, and it's safe to assume because of the genetic relation that the Night Fury shares, in their juvenile faces they will closely resemble this on screen. Bigger and stronger, but still having more time to grow, as we know from the movies. And in What Flies Beneath, a great episode of Riders of Berk, we see Night Fury teeth marks on Toothless's nemesis, which I think lines up with the jaw size of the teenage Nightlights, but we'll call them juveniles. And since these bites are from Toothless himself, we know this size is more accurate to describe a juvenile or nearing adolescence Night Fury. Remember, these are theories, but we know that dragons can grow at incredible rates, like Garth, the Baby Death song from Race of the Edge. who we see go from baby to potentially fully sized in about 2.5 years until How to Train Your Dragon 2, in which Race to the Edge is set. But every species is different, and it could be because Night Furies are so rare and near extinction in the franchise that as a species they take longer to grow from baby to adult. Or like lizards in the real world are indeterminate growers. And generally being larger animals within the How to Train Your Dragon world means they have less young because they have no real predators unless you class the Whispering Death. In How to Train Your Dragon 1, we see Toothless like Hiccup in his teen years. Notably, he is less bulky and smaller than what we see by How to Train Your Dragon 3, with key properties like more camouflage on the skin and more streamlined appearances. This suggests on a survival basis, Furies are more prone to hiding until they reach a greater age, where they become stronger and bigger, and when they are able to more easily fend off predators such as Whispering Deaths, which will be discussed in Night Fury Biology Part 2, so stay tuned, and defending off adversaries due to better physical advantages. By the time of How to Train Your Dragon 2, we know Toothless's design changed from a less streamlined skinny masked dragon to him in 5 years of growing becoming bulkier, with a more prominent chest, bigger spikes on the centre of his head, having less camouflage and a more angular face, with his eyes closer to his snout. Additionally, Toothless's ear nubs grow significantly in size and are more expressive than what we saw in the first movie. Even more nubs on his chin suggests that there is still more room for him to grow. This stage may be Toothless's gradual transition into sexual maturity. We know this might be the age that Night Furies sexually mature, and this backs up my theory that if Night Furies aren't a huge population in comparison to other dragons, they must live longer. Smaller numbered species tend to live longer and sexually mature earlier within the context of the species' age in order to maintain numbers. So in this case, by the How to Train Your Dragon 2, Toothless is supposedly 20, meaning the species might start sexually maturing at 20, but that doesn't necessarily mean they can repopulate at 20, they just have a slow gradual transition. Suggesting Night Furies live a long time means they don't reach a fully grown size until they are much older, possibly even past 100 years, which is fully vouched for because if you search for an elder Toothless, it just seems so perfect. By the time of How to Train Your Dragon 3, with both Hiccup and Toothless slightly larger, we also see some more physical changes to Toothless. He is even bulkier than he is in How to Train Your Dragon 2, with an even more defined chest and more prominent, harder scales on his skin, which could be theorized gives him more armor for fighting. This further suggests that he's sexually maturing to find a mate, such as the Light Fury. Interestingly, both Furies aren't seen to have mated until How to Train Your Dragon 3's prologue and Homecoming, about 10 years after How to Train Your Dragon 3. Possibly due to Toothless and the Light Fury not having fully sexually matured yet. For example, the Greenland shark takes 150 years to sexually mature and they grow at a slow rate of about 0.5 to 1 centimeter a year. This is kind of similar to Toothless from the 6 years from How to Train Your Dragon 1 and How to Train Your Dragon 3, although the following facts I'm about to use come from the wiki and the wiki is not the most accurate at times. In How to Train Your Dragon 1, Toothless is 26 foot long, with a 45 foot wingspan and roughly 5.5 foot tall. And by the time of How to Train Your Dragon 3, he grows to 28 foot and 8 inches long, 5 foot 9 inches tall, with a wingspan of 50 foot and 3 inches. In 6 years, he only grows 10% longer, 7% taller, and his wingspan increases by 11%. To me, personally, that doesn't seem too drastic, meaning there may be more room for a Night Fury to grow, and they just slowly grow. As I say, indeterminate growers, or they just, as a species, take longer to mature. Though against my point is the fact that in the prologue of How to Train Your Dragon 3 and the Homecoming special, Toothless doesn't seem to have grown, but this could be simply due to budget reasons or laziness, or Toothless has reached his full growth, which yet again I just disagree with. Maybe that's because I've seen this awesome ancient Toothless design, but there are plenty of people in the community who also think a Night Fury must grow bigger than what we've seen in the TV shows and film. However, more evidence to look at also involves the 9 realms. Ooh, I know, but this does support the theory of an elder Toothless, and that Furies grow bigger. So at least it's worth the suffering for those of us who want this to be true. In the 9 realms season 4, we meet an elder Nightlight who is considerably bigger than the others, with more prominent and longer ear nubs showing age and experience. This must be derived from the Night Fury side of the 50-50 biology split of the Nightlights, as this elder shares a greater number of ear nubs than what we've seen Light Furies have. Toothless by How to Train Your Dragon 3 has 3 big ear nubs on both sides of his head, but this Elder Nightlight has 4, suggesting that the Fury goes through more life changes than what we've seen in the TV shows and film. They get even bigger, stronger, and have more prominent facial displays when they get older, supporting this artwork to a mild extent here. Though you never know, they may get bigger and get greater facial displays, let's just leave it up to imagination. Through meticulous analysis, I propose that Night Furies possess a fascinating growth trajectory, with more prominent life stages yet to be fully explored. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on theories alphas, share them in the comments below, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. I also have a Patreon where you can support me and help me allocate more time to creating engaging content for you. It's entirely optional, but your support means the world to me. With that said, prepare for more captivating adventures with my 4 phases. Stay tuned, alphas, and until next time, goodbye.